I'm Chef Scubes, and today you're gonna learn how to bake a cake. And the recipe I'm using, I don't have one, but that's okay, because if you want to be an expert baker like me, you don't need recipes. Recipes are for amateurs. The first thing you're gonna do is bring your cold ingredients to room temperature. That's your butter and your eggs. Now the reason you do this is so that they incorporate together much more easily. It's like getting boozy before socializing. It just makes it more enjoyable for everyone. Now I live in Europe, and we don't refrigerate our eggs. And do you know why? Because we just don't care. Once your ingredients come to room temperature, you're gonna preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now living in Europe, we use Celsius. So 350 is, you don't need to film this part. I'm gonna splice the clips together afterwards so it looks like I knew the answer. Okay, ready? 176. While the oven is preheating, it's time to make the batter. And the first ingredient is flour. Do we not have flour? That's okay. All you need is something with a similar consistency to flour. Yeah, this will work. Now to make flour from cornflakes, we're gonna have to get it to the right consistency. That's why you need an immersion blender. Now normally I would use a regular blender, but it broke. Come on over here. Simply set the immersion blender to a low setting and blend away. Once you've ground up 2 cups of flour, simply pour it into a bowl. Now it may not be the exact same consistency as regular flour. You know what it's like? It's like showing up to work. No one expects you to be 100% sober. As long as you're functioning, you get the job done. The next ingredient you're gonna add is baking powder. And you want to add about that much. Now in a separate bowl, we want to combine the following ingredients: eggs, sugar, and butter. Now we're going to add 1/2 cup of plain white sugar. And we're going to cut off about 1/2 cup of butter. Yeah, that's about right. Now this next part may take you some time. This is called creaming. Now if you noticed, a lot of the ingredient measurements were a little bit off, and a lot of people would say that baking is chemistry, it's math, it's an exact science. It's a bunch of I don't know who said that, but they're wrong. Now I know I said cream it until it becomes a nice smooth paste, but in the essence of time, this should be just fine. Now to finish making the batter, you're gonna dump the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Now you're gonna stir all this up until it becomes a perfectly nice, smooth cake batter. Now as you can see, this is mixed together pretty well, but it's not the right consistency for cake batter. So what we're gonna do is add some milk. Just add a little bit at a time, and then stir. Now that the batter's ready, all you need is a springform pan. Do we not have a springform pan? Since we don't have a springform pan, any kind of glass pan or metal pan should work. Simply dump the cake batter into the pan and spread evenly. As you can see, that's gonna be a beautiful cake. And the next step is simply pop it into the oven, and we're gonna check it after 20 minutes. Ooh, yes. Now that the cake is done, we have to remove it from the pan. So we're gonna put it right here on a hot pad. And then we're gonna take a cutting board with some parchment paper on top, and we're gonna flip it over onto the pan. Now from here, we're gonna flip the whole thing over, and the cake should come out flawlessly. Now we're gonna let gravity do its job for a minute. And sometimes it takes a little bit of tapping. And as you can see, now we have a beautiful cake. I'm Chef Scubes, and I hope my cooking tips make you a better baker.